These dreams, I won't let them go. These faces don't faze me. I'ma get it on my own. Cause I ain't never asked for no help. I just did it by myself. Can't nobody tell me no, no, no. And they ain't gotta love you. Long as you just love you, you gon' be alright on your own. Straight up the dome.
Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it in the song. This is the Off the Dome Sports Podcast, your favorite sports podcast, where two sports lovers and sometimes three give their hot takes off the dome. That's why you're my favorite guest. Ladies and gentlemen, sitting in between myself and Byron, we've got Mr. Lottober in studio.
Hello, hello, hello.
How you doing, Mr. Lottober?
I'm great.
Great to hear. Want to shout out Ezzy for that intro song. It's pretty well named. It's called Off the Dome. So make sure to give Ezzy a listen on Spotify. That's E-Z-Z-I, Ezzy on Spotify. Thank you for the song. If you're listening in right now on newrockradio.us, we really appreciate you listening on New Rock Radio. Whether you're listening to the Off the Dome Sports Podcast or just listening 24/7, you're going to hear the best rock music. Make sure to give newcountryradio.us a listen as well. I'm a big country music fan, so I love it personally. Over 1,000 songs on that playlist.
What
Make
country
sure to give.
music you listen to?
I listen to all kinds of country,
Who
man.
are your favorite artists right now?
Favorite right now is Cody Johnson. Favorite all time is Brooks and Dunn.
Neon Moon.
Neon Moon, man. But yeah, we want to thank you for listening in. If not, you're probably watching in live on Radio House Studios, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch. Thanks for watching us. You can see us right now. If you're just listening in, of course, you can always check us out on Radio House, or you can check out our own platforms, Off the Dome Sports Podcast on both Facebook and YouTube, as well as on Twitter, _Dome Pod. We also want to thank our sponsor, Brignac Mortgage. Sean Brignac, President and CEO. He can help you in all your lending needs from residential investment and commercial properties. Going to help you with those mortgages. So make sure to check out Sean. He's on YouTube at Sean Brignac. Also got his own website, www.brignacmortgage.com. Thank you again to Sean. Thank you to Brignac Mortgage for sponsoring the Off the Dome Sports Podcast and supporting New Rock Radio and Radio House Studios. If you're looking to sponsor us yourself, go ahead and shoot an email to studio@newrockradio.us. We can introduce you to those introductory packages. Sponsor the show. We'll help you out. You help us out. It's a great little relationship for everybody.
Yeah.
I want to shoot it on over to co-host Byron over there. He's got some words to say.
How you doing?
How you doing, buddy?
Well, if you're watching and you didn't catch me and Thug Nasty Wednesday night.
Big old Thug Nasty, huh?
Yeah, we did our segment we like to call band practice. We have some local bands come in here live in the studio, play some music, and we kind of just interview them, let people get to know the band. Speaking of which, Thug Nasty is currently at Southport Music Hall
Okay.
watching a Led Zeppelin cover band called Mothership.
Oh.
And let me tell you, they are good.
They are
Fitting
good.
name.
They're very good. Personally know a few of the musicians in the band, and he's going to try and work something out, try and get Mothership in the studio soon.
Sweet. Love some Led Zeppelin.
Oh, yeah. So much talent in that band.
Love to hear it. So who was in on Wednesday?
We had Murica.
Ooh, Murica, huh?
Yeah.
That's a
and
name.
They were an absolute blast
That's
to
awesome.
have in studio. They were fun to hang out with. They're one of those bands who don't really take it too serious, and you could see it. They have that certain vibe about them where it's kind of just laid back and in your face, you could say.
Sweet.
They had some crazy nicknames or stage names for the band. But I got to give a shout out to my man Flagpole. He was an arena football kicker
Ooh.
in the league.
Hey, that's fitting for the Off the Dome Sports Podcast,
Yeah.
baby. Maybe get Flagpole in.
And an expert dancer.
Ooh, love a good dance move every now and then. Bust a move, you know what I'm doing. But yeah, if y'all didn't check it out, make sure to go back. You can go back on Radio House Studios, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and go see that video of Byron and Thug Nasty interviewing Murica, as well as Murica playing some music. Great cover band, so make sure to check that out. We've also done things with Silverdose in the past, and like Byron said, Mothership may be coming in anytime. So make sure to stay tuned into Radio House Studios, not only for the Off the Dome Sports Podcast, but all the other fun stuff we do on New Rock Radio with band practice. So make sure to stay tuned into all of that. If you hear my voice, it's a little nasally right now. Got a little bit going on, but hey, ain't nothing gonna stop me from talking about sports, baby.
Heard that.
We've been off for a week now. We're back, better than ever, And they've had some big stuff happen since the last time we've got behind these mics.
Yeah, it was a pretty bad week for things to get busy for us.
Yeah, definitely a bad week for us not to be able to, get in earlier in the week due to, whatever the case may be. But we're back and better than ever. And, it's been exactly a week. Our last episode was on last Friday, so it was before 2 earthquakes happened at Baton Rouge.
Yeah, back-to-back plays.
Back-to-back plays. And why did those earthquakes happen? Mr. Lottober, I see you're wearing an LSU hoodie there. Can you tell the good people what happened to cause some earthquakes?
I'm gonna tell y'all something about Death Valley. All right, there's a little place down in Baton Rouge on LSU's campus called Death Valley, and Bama came to Death Valley, and we ate them up.
That's right, baby. LSU takes the dub against Alabama. Big old scary Alabama came into town and didn't look so scary.
No.
What? LSU wins the game 32-31 in overtime. And to be honest, man, the score, to me, and of course it's a biased LSU fan, LSU student, the score looks closer than the game felt.
Yeah, much closer. I think LSU won the game from start to finish.
I would agree.
We were winning the whole time.
Yeah, I think
up
there was
until
only
that fourth quarter. I think.
there was only 2 times in the game we weren't winning. There was only like 3 lead changes. Like it wasn't like this some big back and forth high scoring battle. It was LSU was dominating and Bama was clawing for points.
Yeah, that LSU defense, scary.
Dude, they looked great. Before we move on, I would like to give myself a little bit of props. On the last episode, we talked about, hey, what's our score predictions? I said 32-28. It was 32-31. I was pretty close, all right? Let me have one win in the history of this podcast.
They
I'll give
say
you half a win.
They say, they say close only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades.
They do say that.
Well, they need to add podcasts into that, too. But, yeah, like Byron was saying, that defense was crazy. Bryce Young, quarterback for Alabama, won the Heisman last year. Let me ask y'all a question. Is that your Heisman?
Absolutely.
He's not my Heisman. Because that dude did not look good.
No, he hasn't looked great all year, man. I mean, I know he was hurt for a little bit, but there were times against these bad teams where he just gets complacent, and you see it against these bad teams. It's why the scores always look closer than they probably should be, and he's just throwing it all around the field just for the sake of doing it because he has those weapons, and sometimes they're probably gonna come down with it. Most of the time, though, his weapons are probably gonna come down with it. But it's led to him throwing more interceptions, and I think it shows when they play good teams.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we picked him off earlier in the game. I think it was the second quarter, if I remember correctly. But Bama was driving down the field; they were looking good, and then red zone pick for the LSU Tigers. We already had some momentum going in, and then we never gave it up. I know somehow the game got into overtime, but I never doubted it. Like, from the first quarter, I felt confident the entire game. I was like, LSU can actually do this. Because let's be honest, going into the game, did we really have 100% confidence that LSU could really win the game?
Yes.
Okay, well, that's 2 for 3 because, I wanted us to win. I felt good that we had a possibility. But I wasn't 100% confident, oh, yeah, we've actually got a shot at this. I was kind of like a false hope type thing going on.
I mean, Alabama is Alabama. I mean, historically, they've, destroyed us. You want
Before this weekend, it was 11 out of the last 12 that Alabama has won.
That's pretty bad. And, I think there's always that possibility, and especially this time, Alabama has not looked as good this season. On the road, they've been pretty poor. I mean, they lost to Tennessee on the road, and then they lost to the Tigers on the road.
Yep.
I mean, I said last time I was on this podcast, I said it that if Bama was coming into Death Valley, if they were on the road, then they're in trouble, and they were.
Yeah. Hey. Smart man.
And they felt it early. Their first possession, they threw a pick in the red zone.
Yeah. I mean, it was from the jump, the Tigers looked like they had that energy that they needed. And it ended up working out in our favor. I absolutely love it. We've been talking about the defense. Just to give you all a little bit of stats on what our defense did. Like I said, we had a pick Bryce Young completed under 50% of his passes for a guy who's supposed to be a really good, accurate, surgical quarterback. That Bryce Young is supposed to be under 50% completion. That's great for us. We had 2 sacks, 4 tackles for loss, 10 quarterback hurries. Bryce Young was feeling the pressure all night. Whether we were converting those sacks or not, we didn't convert a lot of them, but we were making him feel that pressure, and I think that really played a part in how we were able to come back and win that game, and just take down an opponent who we always have a big rivalry with. I mean, it's one of the biggest rivalries in the South in college football.
At least to us it is.
Yeah, I mean, to us, to Alabama, they're probably like, it's not that big of a rivalry because a rivalry contains back and forth. But
us in Florida is more of the better rivalry for us, at least.
I mean, yeah, fair enough, because it's more back and forth.
Yeah.
But
Isn't it even?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hate Bama so much. I despise that university. I despise Nick Saban.
I mean, everyone that's not an Alabama fan hates Alabama.
Yeah.
Fair.
Yeah.
Probably fair. But yeah, that defense was awesome. The only thing that gave us trouble, I feel like, was Jahmyr Gibbs, the running back. He was catching passes. He was running really well. But in my opinion, Jahmyr Gibbs is one of the best running backs in college football. So doesn't really, I think that doesn't worry me about the defense going forward. They're gonna play good running backs, and we're gonna let up some rushing yards. But we dominate. Our defense dominated that game.
Mm-hmm.
Jaden Daniels, from a stat perspective, he had a pretty mediocre game, I'd say. Like, it doesn't look like he completely dominated, but he had confidence, and that's what LSU needs. Is I think ever since that Florida game, when he started like really finding his feet and getting really well acclimated to the offense, Jaden Daniels has looked super confident. I mean, he had 182 yards and 2 touchdowns through the air. You're thinking, oh, it's kind of mediocre numbers. 95 yards on the ground and a touchdown on the ground. So rushing-wise, he looked great, which he has all season.
Man, that play in overtime when right after Alabama scored, that first play, he goes 25 yards to the house. That is incredible. And that takes guts for a guy like Jaden Daniels to go down there and do.
Yeah, and he broke a tackle in the backfield on that play.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing I saw really interesting from that play, so all night long, LSU had been motioning. They had been running read options all night long. They ran 10 read options in the game. They had been motioning Mason Taylor to the read side. So whichever side Jaden Daniels was supposed to read, they would motion Mason Taylor to that side. Jaden Daniels would then read the outermost defender and decide to hand it off or take off. On that one play in overtime, the first time all night and the only time all night, they ran the read option with Mason Taylor moving to the opposite of the read side. So what that did is that pulled a defender from the read side over to the non-read side, giving Jaden Daniels only one defender to beat, who then Josh Williams came out of nowhere and completely wrecked a dude on Jaden Daniels' way to the end zone. I know that's a little like behind-the-scenes type football stuff, and I'm breaking it down way more than it needs to be broken down. But it was something really interesting I saw that I think comes down to coaching. Not only is Jaden Daniels getting more confident, our coaches are getting more confident, and that's what's scary.
Let's talk coaching, huh? I know you have a kind of thing to say to Brian Kelly.
Okay, so when Louisiana State University first hired Brian Kelly, I was very, very skeptical. I was the first of our friend group to say, I don't like this. Everyone else was like, why don't you like this? He's a winner. Look at what he's done at Notre Dame. Think of what he can do at LSU. He's top 3 winningest coach in college football history. Like, he is that guy. And I'm like, I don't know. Just things I've heard about him on a personal level. He had never won a national championship. Like, it didn't add up for me. However, LSU is sitting here at 7-2 with recruits. Brian Kelly made some moves in the transfer portal. Brian Kelly had a bunch of guys leave LSU because they didn't want to play for him. He's playing with a ragtag group of Tigers right now, and we're 7-2 in the lead in the SEC West. And if we can somehow sweep the season, go to the SEC championship, and win that thing, we're in the college football playoff. in Brian Kelly's first season.
Brian Kelly is a dog.
So-
And I don't think it's that far of a reach.
No, I mean it'll be tough to beat Georgia, and
Yeah.
we'll get
Well,
there.
yeah.
We'll get there when we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But I would like to formally apologize and redact any. Well, not any. I'll leave a couple out there, but I will redact.
He's trying to save himself.
I am. I will redact my negativity towards Brian Kelly. I was a big hater on him in the beginning, and I think he's really adopted the culture well. He set a really high standard at LSU. They had a locker room video of him come out after the game, and Ali Gay screams at him. He's like, "This is why you came to LSU," and he goes, "You damn right it is." After the Bama game, and I was like, you know what? You're right. That's why he's here. He's here to win national championships. I'm sorry, Brian Kelly. I'm sorry. I take it back. I'm sorry.
better.
We beat Bama in his first season here. I
Yeah.
apologize.
I want to give a quick shout out to my man who was slapping that bass Wednesday night.
Ooh, slapping a bass.
Joe Downlow is in the comments tonight.
Oh, word?
Shout out to Joe Down Low. What a name. Love that name.
That's kind of fire.
Yeah, he said he won on that LSU game. So congratulations on that.
Want a little bit of dough, huh? Oh, we get into some bets, Joe. Don't you
Oh, yeah.
worry.
Stick around.
Stick around.
We'll make sure you lose some money.
Soundman's also in the chat. If we win tomorrow, we win the West. Well, that's a great segue to talk about tomorrow. Arkansas, 11 a.m. It's supposed to be really cold, actually.
Dude, it's
It
getting
got cold
chilly up
last
here.
night.
Yeah, the Tigers are going up to Fayetteville. It's supposed to be close to 40 degrees. So them LSU boys are gonna have to put on some long sleeves.
Oh, dude, long sleeve Jaden Daniels? Dude, that's like Hoodie Mellow.
Wow,
Dude.
hoodie mellow.
Mellow.
All right, so
Dude.
Jaden Daniels is popping off for like 405 tomorrow, huh?
That's a big number. He might. I mean, let's win first.
Yeah, of course. But yeah, so Arkansas playing them tomorrow at 11 a.m. We're going to Fayetteville. Battle of the Boot, as they call it every year. They have the Boot Trophy. Currently, the spread is at negative 3.5, meaning LSU is 3.5-point favorites. Over under at 61.
That's interesting.
That's a high over under in my opinion.
Yeah, yeah. I was more talking about the spread though. Like it's an interesting spread like for a team that just beat Alabama.
Just beat Bama, and we're only 3-point favorites over Arkansas, who lost to Liberty last week.
I guess that means like they've officially like given up on Alabama. It seems like.
Well, it's either that or they just recognize this could be what people call a trap game.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And LSU is famous for falling into trap games.
Yeah, Troy, 2016. But my opinion about trap games only happen to teams that are fake good.
Oh,
Correct.
LSU isn't fake good. I know we only won by 1 point against Bama, but we won by more than 1 point against Bama in my mind.
Yeah.
We beat Alabama.
I know what you mean.
Like,
We didn't. We didn't win by more than one.
no, I know. I'm just saying, like, it feels
Yeah.
it feels like it was more like it feels like it was heavier than it was.
Yes, yes.
And because of that, I don't think we fall into a trap game. I would say my only concern for this game falls back on that run defense, because I've been watching Arkansas play a lot of football this year, and they have Raheem Sanders, who I think is really, really good.
They have a pretty versatile offense over there.
They do. It's still an injury question on KJ Jefferson tomorrow.
Oh,
who's,
really?
Yeah. He's their most versatile piece. He's their quarterback, and he can run and pass both very, very well, kind of like Jaden Daniels. I'd say he has a bigger arm than Jaden
Yeah.
Daniels.
He's not as fast either.
Yeah, he's more of a power runner. I've seen him run people over.
Oh yeah, he can put his shoulder pad down and be like a running back and run straight through the receiver. That was a little inside joke from yesterday. Byron and I went to the Pelicans game. We'll get to the Pelicans later, but we went to the Pelicans game, and somebody behind us said, "Oh man, he looked like a running back running straight through a receiver." And Byron and I were like, "That's not football." Glad you're at a basketball game.
You know why? It's because he was a Trailblazers fan.
Yeah, they don't know anything about football in Oregon. But, yeah, I would say my only concern for tomorrow is Raheem Sanders. Really good running back out of Arkansas, and our run defense was the only thing that worried me last week. But, that being said, not worried about it too much.
Yeah.
I think chat's popping off.
There's
Yeah.
a crazy conversation going on in the chat right now.
The chat's going off. Yeah, if you have any actual questions about LSU, if you have anything you want to say, drop it down in the chat. We'd love to talk to y'all.
Oh.
So keep it popping off. So we've talked about LSU for a little bit now. Let's get into tomorrow. What's your score prediction for tomorrow's game? LSU versus Arkansas. Lot?
Oh, me
Take us away.
first?
Yeah.
Okay. It's gonna be cold. LSU's on the road. I'm expecting a relatively, comparing it to the Alabama game. I don't think we're gonna score a million points. But that being said, I do think LSU is the better team here. So I have LSU winning by 10, 24-14. I think our defense is gonna shut them down.
That's fair.
Well, that's beating the spread.
Yeah, that's definitely beating that 3 spread. Soundman said that starting quarterback for Arkansas really good. If he plays, it won't be easy. That's true.
Yeah, I mean,
KJ Jefferson is the difference maker for Arkansas.
this all changes depending on if he plays or not.
Yeah, I'll get us a live update on KJ Jefferson. If Byron, you give us your score prediction.
All right. Also have the Tigers winning. Except it's by a little bit of a bigger margin. I have LSU scoring 33 points to Arkansas's 14.
Wow, that's
What is
a
that,
lot
19?
more than the 3 spread.
Wow.
It's on,
Okay.
it's on the conservative side.
Conservative side. But latest on KJ Jefferson, Coach Sam Pittman, the head coach for Arkansas, said he has 2 decisions to make. Is Jefferson going to start? And if he doesn't start, is he going to play at all? So obviously he's not giving us anything. He's
No,
playing
yeah.
his little
No,
gamesmanship games. Doesn't want anybody to, really get in on there and say, oh, he is playing, he isn't playing.
It usually means either one of 2 things. Either he's playing or he's not.
Yeah, that's a great point. Yeah, I didn't even think about it like that. That's a really good point. God, I hate Byron. But I agree. If KJ Jefferson plays, the game will probably be closer than I have it at.
Me too.
Than you have it at. And for you, it may. Who knows? But as of right now, it doesn't look like KJ Jefferson's going to play.
Hang on, y'all.
What?
I'm hanging on.
Did you get new glasses?
No.
What? Why
You
you
see
look
me
so,
like every day.
I know you look so different right now.
I haven't been home in a
Alright.
week, and I can tell you he hasn't gotten new glasses.
These guys.
Okay, dude.
Sports and everything else on this podcast. I love it. But I have my score prediction. LSU winning, of course, 38 points. Arkansas is allowing about 31 points per game right now on the defensive side of the ball.
That's why it took 33.
So, LSU is going to score some points. And our defense is hot. I expect them to keep it up. I've got Arkansas only scoring 17. 38-17, I've got LSU winning. That's a lot of points.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, it is.
I don't think KJ Jefferson's going to play. You have a backup quarterback going against a hot LSU defense. And I would venture to say that 17 points isn't going to come until probably later in the game because we're probably going to be winning pretty.
Yeah, probably be up like
I think
30,
we're going to get out hot this game.
30 to nothing.
I think we have the anti-trap game. I think we just keep that momentum going.
Win by 60.
Win by 15 wins. But yeah, we've all got LSU winning. We've all got them hot. You know who's not hot though?
Yes.
Who's that?
The New Orleans Saints.
Yes.
Oh.
We could not get colder at this point.
No. We could get more injured, though.
Yeah, well,
Fellas.
true.
Fellas, that's a bad football team.
It is. So Monday night they played against the Ravens. Lot and I were at Buffalo Wild Wings watching the game. But we stopped watching the game at one point because it was just embarrassing to watch. We
gave
lost
us-
27-13.
They gave us 20 free wings at Buffalo Wild
They
Wings
did
that night.
each. We
Why?
each got 20 because they double made our order for some reason.
Oh.
So we got like 40 wings
That's a
for
win.
like
$20.
For $20.
Well, that's a win.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was
Saints
great.
lost, but me and Bryce won.
Yes, correct. Saints absolutely stink right now, and it's embarrassing. Like there was no bright points in that game really.
I think our defense played really well considering, Lamar Jackson usually torches us.
But like,
That most of their points didn't come till the fourth quarter.
I mean, fair, but like the Ravens, like they're so inconsistent. The Ravens are a team we could have beaten.
Yeah.
Like if
Well, yeah.
if
I
the
think they could
Bills,
beat any team at
if
this
the
point.
Bills or the Chiefs only hung 27 points on us, I feel a lot better. But the Ravens have Lamar and no one else. Like he had no. Rashad Bateman was out. Mark Andrews was out. His number one weapon was a rookie tight end out of Coastal Carolina.
Who's been playing great all season.
He has. I'm just saying, like,
So has Devin Duvernay.
yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, I don't know about great for Devin Duvernay. Great, maybe great in standards that Devin Duvernay has, but not great in standards of an NFL player.
I'm talking about like fantasy wise.
No, I don't pay attention to Devin Duvernay's fantasy stuff. But yeah, I hated every second of that Ravens game on Monday. I couldn't watch it. It got to a point where I was not having fun anymore.
It was a bad look. I mean, Kamara couldn't get going. Olave got going a little bit, but that was
every
it.
game.
Like offensively, it was a pretty bad look.
Hey, Chris Olave's that dude. I love Chris
Soundman
Olave.
brings up a good point.
What'd he say?
For the first time since 1949,
Ooh, that's a long time.
there will be a ranked on ranked game where Tulane is involved.
That's
Wow.
exciting, dude.
Shout out to Tulane, man.
Yeah.
Tulane's playing well.
Number 16 ranked Tulane, who is 8-1, will be playing the number 22 ranked UCF Knights, who are 7-2.
Tulane's
go.
awesome, dude.
Hey, shout out to Tulane.
My Uncle Bug, he's a
Shout out Uncle Bug.
shout out Uncle Bug. He's a big old Tulane fan, and I love hearing him talk about how excited he is that Tulane is ranked.
I love that. Hey, there's nothing bad if Tulane's good.
Yeah.
What's wrong? What's wrong with it? I have no problem with Tulane being good. Louisiana is doing great right now.
I mean, we're better.
Tulane's looking like they could
Tulane?
finish out the season with only one loss.
They can play a bowl game.
A
They're
good bowl
going to
game.
play a bowl game. They are already made the bowl game. Like, they're already bowl eligible. They already made a bowl game.
They might finish inside the top 10 if they went out.
That's
They're playing a
kinda-
ranked team.
And Tulane, that'd be crazy.
That would be crazy.
It's very doable. They play Cincy last week.
I mean,
If they win out,
I don't know about top 10.
I mean, they're already at
But,
16.
like, It depends who else loses, though. Like, whoever's ranked from, like, that 11 to 15 spot.
1 second.
Okay. But, yeah, I don't know. Anyway, back. We'll get back to Tulane in a second. Let's get back to the Saints for the meantime. We play the Steelers on Sunday. This might be one of the grossest games of all time.
It's
Both
gonna
of these
be-
teams are bad.
It's going to be ugly. If I was not a Saints fan, I wouldn't be watching this game.
If you're not a Saints or Steelers fan, there's no point in watching this game.
Like, there's no
Only fantasy football owners.
There's no
And
upside.
Is there anybody in the game other than like Kamara and Chris Olave that people really care about?
like Kenny Pickett?
Taysom Hill.
Who, if you have Kenny Pickett starting on your fantasy team, you might as well stop. paying
That was
attention.
me for a second. I'm not
Najee
gonna
Harris,
lie.
Deontay Johnson.
Najee Harris is on my bench. That dude has not been doing
No, he's
anything
not
all
having a
This
good
year.
this year, in 2 leagues, I double stacked Najee Harris and Deontay Johnson. It murdered my season.
I could have told you that.
Oh, stop. Oh, stop. You didn't know that.
Did you find out any good info
I
over
did,
there?
and it's spicy.
Okay, what are we looking at?
So, from 10 to 16, 10 Alabama, 7-2, not 8-1.
Tulane is not gonna.
What if they finish ahead of Alabama?
That's not
Gets
gonna
better. It gets better. Ole Miss, 8-1. That's more than 7-2. So I think they should be flip flopped at least. But let's keep going. Clemson, number 12, also 8-1.
Okay,
You see what I'm seeing here?
that all the teams are 8-1.
No,
What
that Alabama
has a worse record
doesn't
than Tulane?
deserve to be the 10 spot.
I mean,
Well, come on.
their
right.
2
We
losses.
keep going. 13, Utah,
Mm-hmm.
7-2.
Okay.
14, Penn State, 7-2.
Okay.
15, UNC, 8-1.
All right.
And then Tulane, 8-1.
Okay, like, I get your point about Tulane's record could make them top 10 worthy, but strength of schedule matters when it comes
Well,
to
yeah.
this kind of stuff.
Alabama, their 2 losses, they barely lost to Tennessee on the road, and
They
they,
yeah.
barely lost to LSU.
They
on
lost
the road.
to number 7 and number 4 or number 5 by a combined 4 points.
Yeah.
Like, they could easily be undefeated
Oh, yeah,
right now.
yeah. I see your point. I just hate Alabama.
I mean, I do, I feel that. And you know what? I hope Tulane ends up in like the top like 14. That would be awesome.
Let's see.
You know what? You know what is possible? Tulane versus LSU in the Cotton Bowl. It is 100% possible.
That'd be
I
fun.
saw it was like some Twitter thread that brought the road to that, and it is highly likely actually.
Isaiah Likely.
The
Well-
only thing that would be better is if that bowl game was in Louisiana, but it would be in Texas, so it wouldn't be that far of a drive.
Looking forward, at least this week, UNC plays Wake Forest.
That's two good teams.
Could go either way, even though Wake Forest kind of fell off a cliff. Penn State plays Maryland.
Stop it! I don't want to see that. It's a sound man about the LSU versus Tulane game.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
I would love to see it.
Penn State plays Maryland. Also, could go either way. Utah plays Stanford.
That is no. Utah's going to stomp them.
Utah, shout out Cameron Rising.
They only beat Washington
Cameron
State.
Rising, huh?
They only beat Washington State by 4.
Shout out Cameron Rising. My dad, he loves Cameron Rising. In the beginning of the season, he bet Cameron Rising a bunch. Do the dab? All right.
Who said do the
Woodrow.
Wood.
Yeah, you ain't got to ask me twice.
All right.
Oh, that reminds me. I wanted to give a shout out to Pog. First time watching
Oh, shout out
the podcast.
Pod. What's up, dude?
And yes, I do condition my hair.
Oh, he does condition. Okay, good to know.
Don't we all? Do you
Shawnee
condition
says he
your
loves
hair?
seeing you here a lot.
What's up, Shawnee? I miss you, bro. It's been a while.
Love
Good long
seeing you in the
time.
chat, Shawnee.
Yeah,
Shout out to
man.
Shawnee for watching the show.
Thanks for watching.
All right, we have gone on this rabbit hole here. We got to get back to it, ladies and gents. We got to get back to the business, back to the
The game.
game. Steelers versus Saints. Byron, what are we thinking? What's going to happen in this game?
27-10 Saints.
17 points.
17 points, huh?
You think the Saints are going to win by 17 points?
Before we,
Hang on, where are they? Are they in Pittsburgh?
they're in Pittsburgh, in
That-
Acrisure,
Bro.
It's not Hines.
not Hines, Acrisure.
17-point win by the Saints.
But yeah. So before we get into how you think they're going to win by that many points, let's talk about some things that are going to be happening on Sunday. T.J. Watt for the Steelers is coming back. Defensive Player of the Year last year.
Yeah.
T.J. Watt
Yeah.
is making his return after 7 weeks with a torn pec. So it could go either he's on his revenge and he wants to show people he's still that guy and he pops off, or he could be just getting back into game speed.
It's
So which TJ Watt are we going to see? Are we going to see dominant TJ Watt, or are we going to be like, TJ Watt?
I don't think you can come back from that in that short amount of time and just, continue to be dominant. It's a tough injury.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen how much pain he was in when it first happened.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going to take him a few games to get back in shape.
But the Saints' O-line is not great by any means.
No, that's true. And not only are they not great, they're not healthy.
No.
Well, they
We
never
have
are.
we have 2 starting O linemen out this game, Eric McCoy and Andres Pete,
Oh, what's new?
which we're used to Andres Pete being out. I forget he's on the team, and when I remember, I get mad. So we've got those 2 out, but injuries still kind of hitting us. Like I said, Andres Pete, Eric McCoy both out. We've also got Lattimore out again with that abdomen injury. We have no idea what's going on with him. I wish they'd give us some information as to actually what's wrong with him.
They're hiding it.
I don't know what's going on. He's been out like forever. Mark Ingram also out. And then, unfortunately, a guy who I think has taken the biggest step forward, the most improved player on our team this year, Pete Werner, also out this year.
Oh,
this
he's
week.
out?
Yeah.
That's tragic. He's amazing.
He's
been
so
great.
good. I love Pete Werner, man. He has been so good for us,
Why
and
is he
unfortunately he's
laughing?
out. I don't know why he's
Why is he
laughing.
laughing? I'm being
I
serious.
just didn't expect you to get that worked up over
Dude,
Pete Werner.
He's so good.
He is so good.
He might be my favorite player on the defense.
Yeah, he's
been-
awesome.
He's been better than Demario Davis this season. And I don't think that's a stretch.
It's not.
It's not. It's kind of tough to comprehend, but you might be right.
I think statistically he is.
Yeah, Pete Werner has been playing absolutely fantastic. It's going to suck not having him, for sure. Mm-hmm. Especially against Lot is stunned. That's what Soundman said. But yeah, it's going to be tough playing against a Steelers team who plays a lot of in the middle football as far as like slants and crossing routes with Deontay Johnson, running the ball with Najee Harris. You've got dynamic athletes in the middle of the field. So you got to be careful with having Pete Werner out. Hopefully the Saints defense can figure it out. Some good news, though. Jarvis Landry's back. He's missed 5 or 6 weeks. He's back.
Is that news really that good?
It is from the standpoint that we won't have to see Kevin White as much.
I mean, Andy Dalton is the quarterback.
Who's playing great.
And he's
Except
not
last
playing
game.
great.
You say he's playing great?
Except last game.
and the Cardinals game.
Well, that was a long time ago.
That was it was only 2 weeks, 3
It was
weeks
not
ago,
that
man.
long
That's a
ago.
long time in NFL.
Oh man,
NFL
no,
talk. Look at the Raiders game.
it's not like he played fantastic. Our defense shut them out. It's real easy to win a game when the other team scores 0 points.
You know why they scored 0? Because the defense wasn't on the field the whole game. He dissected that defense, took his time with it.
I mean, he played well against the Raiders, but he's not like an all-pro quarterback, man.
He's playing much better than
This guy.
Jameis.
This guy.
Put Jameis back in.
If-
Do not.
I think we need to put Jameis back in. After what I saw on Monday from Andy Dalton, after the Cardinals game when he was turning the ball over more than Jameis was, put Jameis back in.
He wasn't
He's
that.
healthy.
Threw-
Jameis wasn't
he threw
healthy.
2 picks in one game. Jameis threw 4
No, he threw 3
Three.
2-pick-6s.
and a fumble.
No, what, Lot? What's up?
Fellas, we need to trade Alvin Kamara to get back into the first round so that we can get a quarterback. I don't love this quarterback class. I think Bryce Young is kind of.
I don't like Bryce Young.
I think C.J.
Bad
Stroud.
name.
C.J. Stroud is an Ohio State quarterback, which is dangerous.
JT Barrett.
Jake.
Like I wouldn't draft an Ohio State quarterback, but maybe I don't know Levis, that dude from Kentucky. Get a quarterback. Like get in the first round and get a quarterback.
I mean, I don't think we really need to get into the first round to get a quarterback that's not named Bryce Young.
That's fair. That's fair. But like they want to. Like they're gonna want to get into that
I
first
don't-
round.
But I think we could sit back and take a
I don't
decent
like-
one. in
I
the
don't like
second
these
round.
quarterbacks enough to trade back into the first round for a quarterback. I would love us to be in the first round to get a player, but not a quarterback. I don't like the quarterbacks enough. But yeah, listen,
I like them more than the ones last year.
It's something to think about. They are better than
that's fair.
last year.
Last year's quarterbacks were not good. Kenny Pickett was the only one that went in the first round, and we've seen how that's been going this year.
Yeah. None of the other ones.
And we'll
really
see how it
playing.
goes on Sunday. Yeah, Malik Willis has been playing the past 2 games, but he's not a quarterback at this point. He just kind of hands the ball off.
Yeah.
He's playing that Chase Daniel role.
And Desmond Ritter hasn't really seen the field either.
Desmond Ritter has
It's
not
been
seen the field.
Marcus Mariota show.
Should he?
He
I mean, the
should.
Falcons just lost to the Panthers.
I think
in
Desmond
a,
Ritter
in a,
should,
in,
yeah.
a, in a game where they could have been like the top seed in,
Yeah,
in the South.
in the NFC South. Yep,
I
agreed.
mean, the whole NFC South is just...
Bryce traded Kamara for Hawkinson in fantasy. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. He traded James Robinson.
Oh, that's not
and
better.
Ertz.
It happened a long time ago.
Oh, okay.
This, you guys. What are we? Thug Nasty. Why are we doing this? This is. I don't get it. Why are we attacking me right now? But anyway, yeah. T.J. Watt's back. Jarvis is back. Saints have still got Lattimore, Pete, McCoy, Werner, Ingram out. May and Davenport are questionable. So we'll see what happens on the back end of that defense as well as that rotation on the defensive line. But Peyton Turner can step it up. We've got Tano, Passion Zone. So,
Some passion zone.
oh yeah. But yeah, so we're gonna have to agree to disagree on the quarterback thing. I think we need to put Winston back in. He's healthy. There's no point in leaving him on the bench. You paid him like a starting quarterback. Start him. And that's what I have to say. Give me Jameis. Because if I see a game out of Jameis where I don't like it, then it's fine. But
I've seen plenty.
you haven't seen him healthy this season. He is yet to be healthy this year.
He has had the healthiest offense, though.
That doesn't matter if you're not healthy.
I think he was healthy. He's just saying that.
He
They're
had 4
protecting him.
fractures in his back.
They're protecting him.
Oh no, he had 4 fractures. You think a team's gonna lie about a guy having 4 fractures in his back? That's
Maybe.
like no,
Yeah.
Bounty Gate happened.
Exactly.
no. You guys are.
There's
crazy.
been crazier things happening.
You guys are crazy. Jameis Winston needs to see the field again after what Dalton just did. Is Andy Dalton gonna win us games? Like after what you just saw on Monday night, can Andy Dalton win us games?
Is Jameis Winston going to win us
I
games?
think he's
Jameis
got more
Winston
of a shot.
has more
I
of
think
a
he's
shot
got
to
more
win
of a
than-
shot than Jameis does.
I think the exact opposite.
Yeah.
Like part of me wants to say it doesn't matter, but the other part of me is like the Bucks have a losing record. Like and they're on top of the
Exactly.
division,
It's not like we're completely out of the race for the playoffs.
which is unbelievable.
If we like, I've honestly at this point, if we go 500 for the rest of the year, we might win the division. Like it. That's what's insane
at
about
this
it.
point, we might not even have to win the division. A 500 record. Well, we can't because there's 17 games. But
Yeah,
8 and 9, you might sneak into a wild card because of how bad the NFC
the
is.
NFC is so bad
In
this year.
3 years, the South has gone from the best division in football to the worst.
We've become the NFC East.
Wow. And the
All right.
NFC East is amazing.
All right, we
NFC
we
beast.
got it. We got to keep moving on. So Byron already gave his prediction, 27-10,
17 points
17 points. That's a lot.
at the helm of Andog.
I'm going
4
to go.
passing touchdowns.
We're going to miss an extra point.
Yes.
Okay. That sounds about right for us. I'm going to go 20-9. Saints win it. The spread's at 1.5. Obviously, I have us beating the spread. I don't think we're going to score a ton of points, but that Steelers offense looks even worse. So I don't think they're going to score many points either. What you thinking, Lot?
I think that's too many points for the Saints. I think the Saints offense is horrible. Really, really, really bad. So I'm going to go with Saints 17, Steelers 14. I think it'll be close, but Bryce is right that Steelers offense is not good, at all.
I really like Sound Man's score prediction.
6-0. Honestly,
that might be it.
I could see it.
But Will Lutz is going to miss a field goal somewhere in there.
Yeah, he always does.
He's going to miss the closest
I don't know
one.
what happened to him.
He tore his ACL, right?
It was Achilles, I think.
Oh, okay. That changes things.
Yeah, absolutely. But anyway, moving on from football, we're getting into some.
Wait. Did we hear your pick?
Yeah, 27-10.
Oh, sorry, I missed it.
17 points. 4 passing touchdowns. 450 yards from Andog.
It's a lot.
And a missed point from Homeboy.
I want Jameis Winston to play so bad.
Oh, he's not gonna.
Um,
Bet the under no matter what it is.
I agree.
Yeah,
we can
yeah,
all agree on that.
yeah.
Bet the under.
The line is at 10.
That's what I'm saying. The line's going to be
Under.
crazy.
But we saw the World Series wrap up last week while we weren't, or this past week while we weren't here. Astros ended up winning the World Series 4-2.
Somebody was right.
Byron
They
had them
did.
winning the
You were
entire
right.
time. The entire time from the beginning.
Yeah.
Yep.
So shout out to Byron. He got it right, man. He had the Astros winning it. Lot, you're the baseball guy. That's why you're here. Give us a quick run through of what we saw in the World Series. Why did the Astros win it?
All right, y'all. The World Series is over. The Astros won the World Series 4-2 games, and we can go through game by game and see what happened. All right. So in Game 1, the Phillies won 6-5. The game started. The Astros were up 5 runs through the 3rd inning, but Justin Verlander got smoked in the 4th and the 5th, and he gave up 5 runs, tied it up. And the Phillies ended up going to extras and winning it off of JT Realmuto's home run. And then Game 2, the Astros won 5-2. Zach Wheeler pitched, and he gave up 3 in the 1st and 2 in the 5th.
Hurts my heart.
Right?
I was talking up Zach Wheeler so much on this podcast.
But then the Phillies and the Phillies couldn't score until the very late innings. I think they scored 1 in the 7th and 1 in the 9th. It was something like that. But by then it was way too late. The Astros bullpen is somehow better than their starting rotation. So the Phillies, they had to jump on their starters this series, and they struggled with that at times.
Not the next game.
Yeah. In Game 2, Framber Valdez, he pitched great.
Game 3.
And in Game 3,
Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
in Game 3, the Phillies won 7-0. That was the first game in Philadelphia, and the Phillies hit 5 home runs. Ranger Suarez, a great pitcher for the Phillies, he went 5 strong, and then the Phillies bullpen finished off the Astros.
When that game wrapped up, I was slightly less confident in my Astros pick.
Yeah, because they had 2 more games in Philly, and if Philly won out in Philadelphia, then the series is over.
But then what happened in the next game
Restored.
restored all of my faith.
In Game 4, the Astros won 5-0, and it was a no-hitter. It was only the second no-hitter in World Series history since Don Larson for the Yankees pitched a perfect game in 1956.
Perfect game in the World Series.
Yeah, it's serious.
Cojones on that man.
It was a combined no-hitter. Christian Javier went 6, and he struck out 9, but the last 3 innings were the bullpen guys. Ryan Presley, their closer, was amazing throughout this whole series. I was kind of surprised he didn't win World Series MVP. But off of Game 4, momentum was insane. Insanely in favor of the Astros. And then in Game 5, the Astros won 3-2. Verlander pitched well after Game 1 where he gave up 5. And then Pena homered in the 4th to give the Astros the lead, and they held on for the rest of the game. And since that game 3 where the Phillies put up seven runs, they haven't been able to do anything. I mean, Bryce Harper, he looked okay in the very first in the first few games of the series, but like he slumped for the rest of the series. And they look dead. And then they won in Game 5, and they went back to Houston for the last game of the World Series, where the Astros won 4-1. And the Astros won their second World Series in franchise history behind Framber Valdez. It was another great start from Framber Valdez. Dusty Baker, former national coach, he invented the high five. He got a ring. Did you guys know that?
He invented the high five?
He invented the high
I
five.
don't believe that.
Google it.
I promise you there was people in like 1800
Wrong.
high-fiving each other.
Wrong.
Have you played Red Dead Redemption?
Google it.
You get high five in that game.
No, you can't. But the Phillies offense, like I said, they died after Game 3. So the Astros ended up winning the series 4-2. And I have some final thoughts here. The Astros cheated to win the World Series in 2017. And no matter how much you want to deny it, that is a fact.
Yep.
They were
happened.
stealing signs, and they won the World Series because of it. In 2018, they lost in the ALCS to the Red Sox.
Who won the World Series that year?
The Red Sox.
Yeah, damn right.
In 2019,
Who also cheated?
in 2019,
Not proven.
in 2019, they lost to the Nationals. In 2020, they didn't make the World Series. In 2021, they lost to the Braves. So, like, they've been working at getting back at it, and this team has been good. I don't think they needed to cheat to win the World Series in 2017, but they did, and that's horrible. But this time, they were the best team in baseball.
Yeah, that's why they won. It
They-
really is.
They rolled everyone in the playoffs. They won 107 games. Like, they deserved this.
Yeah, I agree. And, I hated the Astros because of the whole cheating scandal that came out. And I was like, that stinks. I hate the fact that that's going to be on... Like, that's going to be on the record forever that the 2017 World Series champions cheated, and that's how they won the series.
Yeah.
But they didn't cheat this time, and they won. They won one. Like, it wasn't
Yeah.
like I don't know if they should have won. Like, they deserve this one. So, good for the Astros.
Yeah. I mean,
And good for Byron for getting that prediction right.
Yeah, good job, man.
You're welcome.
Quick shout out to Rebo. He's in the chat. Said he's here for the last 10 minutes. Let's go.
He said, that
Rebo,
thing wrenching.
we're going to be here a lot longer than 10 minutes.
Yeah,
We're not even
yeah.
halfway
We got
through,
some
my
more
boy.
stuff.
This is like a mega
We
episode.
had a
on
little
that.
late start, too.
And this was our only episode all week, so
Yeah.
we'll let it go longer, and but I think the people are going to love what we have to say for the rest of it, especially for this next little point. Thank you for all that World Series information, by the way.
Of course.
It was a really good World Series. Just in general, I thought we don't know if they cheated yet.
We
That's fair.
absolutely.
They could have cheated this series, and we'll find out. But
I'm sure they were looking for that.
Oh, yeah.
but thanks for that World Series, Lot.
Of course,
Thank you,
man.
Mr. Lottober knows his baseball.
It's my Super
there's
Bowl.
one thing.
Except when it comes down to predicting games.
I still think it's impossible to predict
It is.
baseball.
It is, especially when you pick the Blue Jays. Yeah. So moving out of the World Series, kind of this off season, the MLB is going to be very interesting.
Definitely.
So I posed this question to the guys. They have in my opinion, three really big free agents coming up in this offseason. One of them's kind of a homer pick. We'll get to him last. But two really, really big free agents as far as name goes. As much money, they're probably going to make a ton of money. So we've got Trey Turner and Aaron Judge both going on the free agent market. They can go wherever they want. Trey Turner coming from the Dodgers, Aaron Judge coming from the Yankees. So I ask you guys, where do you think they're going to go? Byron, why don't you start us off with Trey Turner?
Okay. So, when I was sitting here, thinking about it, I was like, which team really needs a shortstop? And I was like, maybe they just need...
Turner stinks.
Maybe they just need that piece, not necessarily a shortstop. And instantly I thought of the Seattle Mariners.
That's fair.
Hey, they could have went on a.
They made a name for
they
themselves
went
this
on a
year.
run at the end of this past season.
Yeah.
Adam Frazier, their second baseman, his deal is done. So like they lost a middle infielder, and J.P. Crawford, he's a really strong guy. So I think Trey Turner would fit in well in that middle infield, and him and J.P. Crawford on given side of that infield would be amazing.
Yeah. Hey,
I love that spot.
that'd be a good little pickup for the Mariners. And Trey Turner would probably get a bag too, considering he'd be
yeah.
going to a team that's not a huge market.
All of these guys are going to get a bag.
Oh,
yeah.
absolutely. But I really like that pick. That's a whether or not it's an accurate pick doesn't matter to me. I just think it would be a really cool thing to
It'd
see.
be a fun thing to see.
What about you, Lot? Where you think Trey Turner's going to go?
I think it all depends. All of this free agency, I think it all depends on what the Dodgers do. If the Dodgers don't end up re-signing Trey Turner, I think it's going to be the Phillies. The Phillies made it to the World Series, and they were this close, but they couldn't get it done. So they're looking to improve a little bit. And their offense was good this season. So they want to reinforce that, become one of the strongest offenses in the league, and they're looking for a shortstop. Because I think John Segura, their current shortstop, I think he opted out, or he got extended a qualifying offer, something like that. But he might not be on the team next year. So they're going to need someone to fill that void, and I think Trey Turner would be a great spot.
Yeah, that's actually who I picked too. I also picked the Phillies. Phillies were they were in the World Series this year. They've shown they're not afraid to spend money, signing Bryce Harper to a huge contract. So with a team that's not afraid to spend money, a team that's right on the cusp, what do? You go get one of the best players that's out there in the market. And Trey Turner fits that bill. Super fast. I learned about that the hard way on MLB The Show.
You're welcome.
Byron used to drag bunt with him and get singles every time. But Trey Turner, we were talking before the show, he's not that great of a defender.
Yeah, he is an okay defender, but he's not going to win you a Gold Glove.
But offensively, he's definitely there.
Oh yeah, he's
got the
top
offensive
of the league
skills.
offensively.
Yeah, especially with that speed. I mean, that's just something you can't teach. You can't coach speed. So if he gets on base, it's always in that pitcher's mind that, okay, I can't really afford to throw many breaking balls here, or else he's going to take that bag.
And a guy like Trey Turner getting on base, like if he's leadoff and you've got guys like Bryce Harper, JT Realmuto, Kyle Schwarber coming in behind him with that power, if they're hitting balls to the fence, I mean, he can tag up. If they're hitting doubles, he's scoring from first. I mean, that makes them a lot more versatile. So I would like Trey Turner to go to the Phillies.
Don't forget Nick Castellanos.
Oh, my favorite player in the league.
Who had a really rough season this year. He got hurt for a little bit. His numbers went down. But he's going to be looking to bounce back. And if he can bounce back to get into more of that 2021 form, he's going to be a really serious addition to that Phillies lineup if he can come around.
Moving on. Next guy. Biggest name in free agency. Aaron Judge. He's going to win the MVP this year.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. There's no question.
The MVP is going on the free agent market. That's crazy.
Yep.
That's insane.
Everybody's
But
gonna
we're
be looking
seeing it. So, I mean, there are 30 MLB teams out there who want Aaron Judge.
Well, yeah.
But only one can have him.
Yeah.
And I think he's going to stay.
You think he's staying with the Yankees?
He's staying with the Yankees. That is my prediction. We talked about it, I believe, a couple weeks ago of where we think he could go. I gave two teams, one in the AL, one in the NL. I had said either the Angels in the AL or the Braves in the NL. It just from not a realistic standpoint at all, but where I would like to see him go because Shohei Ohtani and Mike Trout need help over there. They need a third piece, so getting Aaron Judge in there would help. In the NL, Braves lost Freddie Freeman. You get another power guy with Aaron Judge. But all in all, I think he stays in New York. It just makes sense. New York wants him. They're a huge market. They can offer him as much money as he wants, really. I don't know if they're going to, but it just makes sense for Judge to stay in New York.
Takes a little ride on the subway to the other New York team.
You know who would hate that?
Soundman.
Dude, people have been talking about the Mets being a possible
Steve
landing
Cohen
spot.
is not afraid to spend $500 million.
Dude, on the first day of the offseason, he extended Edwin Diaz for 5 years.
Yeah.
Crazy money. I think it made him the highest paid reliever in history.
Yeah,
Like he is not playing around. He got
Timmy Trumpets.
He was so mad that the Mets got eliminated by the Padres. So I think they're gonna ball out this offseason. I don't know what they're gonna do.
Well, that being said, is Aaron Judge going to stay in New York, whether the Yankees or the Mets, or is he going to go somewhere else?
I think it's entirely possible that Aaron Judge stays with the Yankees. But if it's not the Yankees, I have the San Francisco Giants. Aaron Judge.
That's a big rumor going on for
yeah,
sure.
Yeah, I mean, he grew up in California. He knows the area. And the San Francisco Giants general manager is on record saying, we will not be outbid for Aaron Judge. And that's kind of a menacing thing, especially when no one thinks of you when they think of the richest teams in the league. But I think it's completely fair. They have money to spend. Their payroll is going way down in 2023. They might lose Jock Peterson, so they're going to need an outfielder.
Mm-hmm.
So I love the Giants to get Aaron Judge. And if they, depending on how long that they sign him, it'll be great because he'll be a base to build their core around. Because they don't really have a base right now. They need it, though.
Yeah. I like it. I mean, that's a big rumor for a reason. They said they're not afraid to spend. And if you're not afraid to spend, Aaron Judge is the guy to go out and get. Byron.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Where's he going?
So, do have to say that I think he will stay in New York. But where would I like to see him go? And this isn't just because of, I'm a fan of the team. I think this could actually happen. The Cubs, like the Giants, kind of need that centerpiece, need that all-star back instead of trading them away.
I think they're their second highest player right now, second highest paid player right now is Jason Hayward or something.
It probably is because that contract sucks.
Yeah.
I think
Aaron Judge to Chicago.
No lie, I think that's a great fit. The Cubs are like the Giants. They need a base. They need someone to build around, and the Cubs have more money to spend right now than they have in a while.
Yeah, which is why I think he can actually go there. It's not outlandish for me to say that.
Yeah.
Or I'm not just saying that just because I'm a Cubs fan. I think it's a real opportunity for the Cubs to sign a great player and kind of build that fan base back.
I think it's entirely possible.
It would be really cool to see him go to a team that nobody expects him to go to. That's for sure. Kind of, it would be similar to when Tom Brady went on the market. Before the season, nobody was saying, "Oh yeah, he's going to go to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers," who stunk. Why would he go to Tampa Bay? And then now he's in Tampa Bay, and it makes sense. So the same thing could happen with Aaron Judge. I could easily see him switching teams. Personally, I just think he's going to stay with the Yankees. It just makes sense. But this third guy, he may not be the third best free agent. Based on they have Jacob deGrom going out there and stuff. But I wanted this one because I wanted you guys' perspective as a Red Sox fan. Xander Bogaerts declined his player option, so he is on the market now. I would love to see him come back home to Boston. It's not really his home, but he's been there for 9 years now. Xander is the leader of the Red Sox right now, in my opinion. I would hate to see him leave, but it might happen.
It's definitely going to happen.
Yeah, it's definitely leaning towards that happening.
It doesn't look like he's coming back. I would love for him to come back, and I think there's a lot of factors that play into where he's going to go. Why don't you give us your perspective on where Xander Bogaerts ends up?
Okay, first of all, Xander Bogaerts will not be a member of the Red Sox in 2023.
That hurts my heart. Why are you saying that?
I'm sorry,
Correct.
but it is.
But you know who will?
Rafael Devers.
Bobby Dalbec.
Bobby Dalbec will. But the
he won't. He will be on the Worcester Red Sox because he's going to be in AAA because we don't even want him.
The reason
You don't. The rest of Boston does.
Let this man talk. I'm tired of talking about frickin' Bobby Dalbec.
The reason that Xander Bogaerts will not be a Red Sox is because the Red Sox have to pay Rafael Devers. And Rafael Devers is going to eat up a giant contract. He's 25 years old. He's one of the best players in the league, and they have to sign him.
They could sign both. Financially, they could.
That's not their They need pitching.
Listen.
Yes.
Listen. As a Red Sox fan, there's no way they're going to sign both. They probably won't sign either because they're stupid.
They're going to give Bobby Dalbec the bag.
Financially, they have $115 million next season before they reach the competitive balance tax threshold. They have $115 million they can spend this offseason.
And they need to get
And
pitching.
they're not going to spend it on Xander Bogaerts because they are dumb.
They're going to try and get Aaron Judge.
and it's not going to happen.
No.
But anyway, where's Xander going to end up,
Okay.
man?
Maybe they get DeGrom.
No, not happening.
So I'm saying that where Xander Bogaerts goes depends on if the Dodgers get Trey Turner back, because that shakes up the shortstop market, right? So if it's not the Dodgers who get Xander Bogaerts, because I think if the Dodgers lose Trey, then they're going to be the favorites for Xander Bogaerts. But if it's not the Dodgers, it could be the Giants, who absolutely need a middle infielder, or the Phillies, depending on if Trey doesn't go to the Phillies, because the Phillies are also looking for a shortstop.
It's kind of funny how we have this 3-team like triangle between all these free agents. The Giants, the Yankees, and the Giants. 4 teams: Giants, Yankees, Phillies, Dodgers. Kind of everything depends on those 4 teams as far as where these guys are going to go.
Yeah, I think we'll find out about Trey Turner first, and then I think everything else will fall.
Yeah.
Because Trey is that golden goose. Everybody is going to want Trey Turner.
Yeah. If Trey Turner stays with the Dodgers, Xander has a higher chance of coming back to Boston. I don't think he will. So, in my opinion, I think Xander's going to Los Angeles. I think Xander's going to go to the Dodgers.
Yeah.
Because the Dodgers aren't afraid to spend money, and I don't think they're going to re-sign Trey Turner. So I think Xander's going to end up being a Dodger. I would love for him to keep being a Red Sox. He's one of my favorite players that I've ever seen play for my team. It's actually gonna hurt my heart seeing him leave. Same thing that happened with Mookie Betts. And where did Mookie Betts go?
The Dodgers.
Exactly. So it's just a repeat
Yeah.
of the same thing. I could see him. I see him going to the Dodgers. However, if the Dodgers re-sign Trey Turner, I don't know where he would go other than Boston. But Byron has an idea.
You want the short answer or the long answer?
Whatever you want, man.
I'll give you the short answer. Mets.
Steve Cohen, not afraid to spend money.
No.
But they have Francisco Lindor, so how do you think that works out?
They also have Jeff McNeil.
See, I don't know who that guy is. I believe Lott is telling the truth. I just don't know who he is.
Jeff McNeil is really good.
I believe you.
They call him the
I
squirrel.
just don't know. Oh, Xander's not going there. He can't take the squirrel away. The Red Sox are the AAA team for the Dodgers. I hate you so much. Oh, I despise you. I wish you were wrong, though, because JD Martinez is probably also going to...
Get ready to call him up.
Next season, I'm not even going to lie. Looking forward to next season, I think the Dodgers are going to have 3 former Red Sox in their starting lineup between Mookie Betts, JD Martinez, and Xander Bogaerts, all going to be playing for him.
Maybe Rafael Devers, too.
No, Devers is an arbitration. We're keeping him. We have him through this season. But the year after this year, we might just trade our entire organization to the Dodgers for Alex Verdugo.
Except one guy.
Bobby Dalbec.
You're going to pay him $100 million.
So the Mets get Xander. How does that work out with Francisco Lindor?
I mean, honestly, I just said that, to kind of piss you off a little bit.
You're good at that.
But honestly, there's a lot of teams that could use someone like Xander.
I honestly, I don't think the Mets is that bad of a pick. I mean, the Mets are going to spend money this offseason, and, they can work out a situation where, Jeff McNeil plays DH. He could play DH, or they might try and move him out to the outfield a little bit, even though, that might not be what they want to do. But there is a way to work around this.
Yeah. So, I mean,
realistically, I think Xander might end up in San Francisco if they don't sign Judge.
Yeah.
So in my brain, there's 2 different routes. Trey Turner goes back to L.A. He either stays with us in Boston or goes to Philly. If Trey Turner does not sign with L.A., he's going to L.A. So I feel like I could see the Giants happening, but I don't know if the Giants go for Xander if they miss out on Aaron Judge. I feel like if they miss out on I feel like Aaron Judge is the one guy they want. I don't think they want to spend money on just anybody. I think they want to spend money on Aaron. So if they miss out on Aaron Judge, they're not going to just go spend a bunch of money on Xander because they missed out. They'll probably just invest the money in a bunch of smaller players rather than spend big time on a guy who's 30.
And I really, it might just be me, but I don't see Trey Turner going back to L.A.
Yeah, I don't either. That's why I'm pretty sure Xander's going to end up a Dodger. because it's just going to suck.
It all depends. And when you throw Dansby Swanson in the mix, I mean,
I forgot.
Yeah, I mean, he has to end up somewhere. I think. Yeah, I think.
Yeah,
he's
a free agent. Yeah,
like he has to end up somewhere.
He's
so
going to go back to Atlanta.
He might. The shortstop market is crazy. If he leaves, Atlanta's going to be looking for a shortstop.
Xander in Atlanta makes a lot of sense.
We'll see.
Wow. This offseason is going to be really fun for baseball, so don't y'all worry. Lottober will be back on once some signings start happening. Should probably within the next couple weeks. We'll see a lot of stuff pop off in the MLB market.
Don't trust Twitter.
Never
Everyone
trust
has
Twitter.
The blue checks.
Everyone has blue checks because they're paying for them.
I've seen so many. LeBron wants a trade. Odell to the Vikings.
Yeah, I mean, there's tons of stuff going on. So don't trust Twitter. Trust us. We'll give you the correct information, I promise. And we'll have Lottober on to tell you all about it. But let's get into our favorite segment we do every episode, B&B's Bets. On our last episode, we gave you some road dogs. Mine hit. Seahawks and Titans both hit for us. They beat their spreads. Seahawks were at 1.5. They won the game, so obviously. Titans were at plus 12.5, and they
Took them
sent
to
it to overtime.
overtime.
So great bets from us. Shout out to us.
Yeah.
That was a great game.
Why not us?
Why not us?
You like that?
All right, all right. This week we've got some road dogs for you again. So it's we love the road dogs. That's a team that is an underdog going on the road as far as betting goes. So, Mr. Lottober, why don't you start us off with your road dog?
Okay, my road dog is my Commanders at Philadelphia, and they're plus 10.5, y'all. Philly is due for a loss. They're doing it with smoke and mirrors. They beat one good team, and it was the Vikings. Kirk Cousins on prime time.
I mean, they are 7-1 this year.
Vikings are 7-1. Their
The
only
Vikings
loss
are
is the
phony
Eagles, and the Eagles are undefeated.
The Vikings are phony, and the Eagles are phony. Name one game the Eagles had to be good to win.
You have to be good to win every game
That's
in the
not
NFL.
true. That's not true. That's not true.
I don't think you can.
That's
you
not
can
true.
be phony and be 8-0.
You can be really bad and beat the New Orleans
Okay,
Saints.
listen. I was telling. That's fair. I was telling Lot this the other day. The Eagles are one of two. They have one of two routes as an 8-0 team right now. They are either the 2020 Pittsburgh Steelers, where they go 11-0, and everybody thinks they're going to win the Super Bowl. They fizzle out and lose in the first round of the playoffs by 40, or they're the 2009 Saints, who start off 13-0, go into the playoffs, and win the Super Bowl. For me, there's no in-between for the Eagles.
Or
they're either going to lose in the first round of the playoffs, or they're going to win the Super Bowl. No in-between.
Or they're the Miami Dolphins.
Go completely undefeated
Undefeated,
forever.
baby.
They're not that. However,
They're not good.
Their schedule's easy enough to do it, though.
I think they're going to lock up the 1 seed by week 16, so then they're not going to worry about playing Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown and Miles Sanders.
Gardner Minshew, so they're still going to win.
Oh, my God. They're going to win by 70.
All I know is that my Commanders are going to upset the Eagles this week. Whether it's on the spread, you can bet the spread if you want, but I really like money line.
That's crazy.
My Commanders are going to beat the Eagles.
You can't
What
say
happened, what happened to your Bears?
Oh, I'll tell you what happened to his Bears.
Let's see what Bryce has to say
I'll
about
tell you
my
what happened
Bears.
to his Bears. His Bears are not going to cover their spread this week because my road dog is Lot needs to be drug tested to sound man.
For
my
what?
road dog
Everything.
is a team that won last week against the two-time back-to-back MVP Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers. My Detroit Lions are playing the Bears this week in Chicago, and they are 3-point underdogs on the road. Coming off a big win, Dan Campbell said, "Man, I just need to sit back and drink a beer, man." And not only did he sit back and drink a beer, but he sat back and watched Justin Fields last week. And he is not going to let him do what he did to Miami. He is going to shut down that Chicago offense that actually stinks. I don't know how they're good right now. And the Detroit Lions are going to beat the Bears. Not only just beat the spread at +3, they're going to beat the Bears by 10.
Chicago has scored a lot of points in recent games against good defenses. The Patriots, they put what, 33?
Keep talking. Keep talking. It's fine.
And the
My
Packers,
Detroit Lions don't need your negativity.
The Packers, with an already, in shambles receiving core, lost 2 of their receivers in the first quarter of that game.
Keep it coming.
So, Bryce, you're wrong, and here's why. The Lions beat a horrible Packers team. Aaron Rodgers looks like Dan Orlovsky in 2008.
Running out of bounds.
Running out of bounds, not winning a single game. And here's why my Bears are going to win. Justin Fields is capital H-I-M, him. Himothy. Justin Fields is that guy.
Just him.
He
Fields.
might be the best Ohio State quarterback of all time.
Can we get that trending on Twitter?
Just
Just
him,
him.
Fields.
Fields.
But he's been
no,
so
we
good.
can't.
He's been great.
I'm gonna tweet it
And
now.
there's not a shot that Dan Campbell's Lions walk into Chicago, into Soldier Field, and beat my Bears. There's not a shot. It is my lock of the week.
Lock of the week is Bears money line, huh?
Yes, my lock of the week is Bears money line.
Speaking about locks of the week, before we give you Byron's Road Dog, let's give you Soundman's lock of the week.
Oh,
He's got LSU spread and under 62. Which, if all of our predictions hit, or any of our predictions hit, so will his.
yeah.
We all had the game under 62 points, and we all had the LSU spread. So shout out to Soundman. He's one of the best bettors we know. So, if that hits, it'll look good for us.
62 is a really big number.
That is a really big number. Byron, can you give us your Road Dog?
I took, a dog that has led me to victory in the past and you to victory last week.
Mm-hmm.
I have the Seattle Seahawks going into Tampa Bay.
Into Germany. They're playing in Germany.
True, but FanDuel has,
Seattle is the road team, technically.
8:30 in the morning.
Oh, God.
plus 2.5 for minus 104.
Yeah, I mean,
I think
Seattle's
Seattle
hot.
wins this game.
Tampa Bay just won against a bad Rams team.
Not,
but they
not
needed,
a very convincing win.
No,
either.
that's what I'm saying. Is they needed every little thing to go their way to win that game. So I could definitely see Seattle not only beating the spread but winning the game against Tampa.
Oh, yeah, Tampa kind of sucks. I'm not going to lie.
Adam, can I tag your dad on Twitter?
Yeah, do it.
Okay, sweet.
Why are you doing that?
Just because.
I'm tweeting. Just
Oh,
him
okay,
Fields.
yeah,
Just him
yeah.
Fields at Paul Lott.
Yeah, go ahead, tag
Paul
my
Lott
dad.
and yours?
Who, George?
No, you.
Gerald doesn't
Oh,
have
he's
a
tagging
Twitter,
me.
by the
Okay.
way. But yeah, so quick little recap of our road dogs. I've got the Detroit Lions going into Chicago, beating that +3 spread. Mr. Lottober has his Washington Commanders, who are under big scrutiny right now with some legal stuff going on. Going into Philly, +10.5.
Going into Philadelphia.
Yeah. And then Byron's got that Seattle versus Tampa Bay Germany game. Seattle's technically listed as the away team, and he's got them beating Tampa Bay,
I do.
or at least beating the spread at 2.5.
Yeah.
So for our little special this week, we're going to do a college football parlay. We'll get through it pretty quick. My college football parlay, I've got LSU beating their spread at -3.5.
Okay.
I've got Ole Miss versus Alabama. Got Ole Miss beating their spread at +11.5. I think they can keep it within 10
Okay.
for sure. And then TCU is playing Texas this weekend. That's probably going to, honestly, in my opinion, that might be one of the best college football games that we've seen all year.
Yeah.
TCU and Texas, it's going to be a good one. TCU is currently at 7.5 underdogs, and I've got TCU definitely beating that spread. And I would go as far to say as you might want to take TCU money line, but I'm just taking spreads for now. LSU -3.5, Ole Miss +11.5, TCU +7.5, parlay +589.
That's awesome. I'm also taking the spread on all three of my games,
Okay.
and I also have TCU, those horned frogs, +7.5.
This is where it gets
This is
crazy.
crazy.
It gets a little sketchy. I'm not gonna lie.
I've done similar to this.
So,
Makes
guys,
me want to throw up.
And
Let me-
mine hit, so
let me
why not?
explain something to y'all. USC is playing Colorado.
Colorado. Give them some background information on Colorado.
Colorado sucks. Colorado is really, really, really bad. And they are +34.5. So I'm taking USC -34.5 to cover the spread.
That's insane.
That's in my parlay.
That's crazy.
And then my third team is Purdue. Who are they playing again? Illinois. I think they're playing Illinois.
I'll check.
I remember I looked at it. I don't remember. Purdue is plus
You just
6.5.
knew we liked Purdue no matter who they were playing. Shout out Drew Brees.
Purdue is plus 6.5, and that's my 3-leg parlay. I'm taking TCU plus 7.5, USC minus 34.5, and Purdue plus 6.5,
Yes.
and that'll add up to plus 608.
Some odds right there. Soundman says
Unranked
TCU.
Purdue is playing 21 ranked Illinois.
Oh, come on.
Soundman says TCU plus 7 is a good bet. I feel fantastic
I
right
think
now
so
with
too.
him saying
yeah,
that.
TCU's great.
Byron,
Oh, yeah,
why don't
that's
you
a
give
good
us
bet.
your college football parlay?
So y'all went spreads.
Yes.
Yep.
So I decided to go money lines.
Okay, got to switch it up. You got to be different.
Hang on to your hats, folks. So up first, I hate both of them. Up first, we got Tennessee playing Missouri.
Okay.
Okay.
Just had a tough loss.
Tennessee
they're,
money line.
they're about to score 70 points on Missouri.
That's a lock.
I like that.
Next up, I have LSU's money line playing Arkansas.
Okay.
Following that, we have Notre Dame playing Navy.
Go ahead, Irish.
Then we have Clemson playing Louisville.
Okay. Clemson coming off a tough loss.
That could be sketchy.
Clemson coming off a
Louisville.
tough loss.
Clemson only minus 275 in that game
Only.
for the
Only.
money line. And then Penn State playing Maryland.
Okay.
All those money lines combined gives you plus 218.
Odds are a lot lower on that than I thought they would be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Because
that's because they're all pretty big favorites.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, the odds aren't great, but if you bet enough money, it'll be enough. Notre Dame is a trap game. Is what
It
I'm
Notre
saying.
absolutely
Dame
is.
not.
It is.
Absolutely.
Navy
It is a trap
is
game.
bad.
Yeah. You know who else is bad? Marshall.
And Stanford.
And Marcus Freeman found a way to lose to those
Did,
teams.
did y'all see what Notre Dame did last week?
I
Clemson
did.
stinks.
But my Irish are kind of nasty, I ain't gonna lie.
Not as nasty as the
Drew
LSU
Pine?
Tigers.
Drew Pine?
This guy.
He does need to be drug tested.
Drew
He
Pine?
does. He
Drew
does.
Pine?
All these PEDs.
All right, we're having so much fun right now. This is great, but it's almost coming to an end. And what do we do at the end of every weekend episode? We always pick the NFL games.
We salute
Oh.
to the camera.
I haven't
Oh.
done this before.
We love to pick the NFL games. So if you listen to the last episode, I went 9 for 12 on my picks. That's pretty good.
That is good.
Yeah. I went 8 for 12.
Hey, that's also pretty good. We always stay between that 2 to 5 mark of how many we get wrong. We're never totally terrible, but of course we never get them all right.
I mean,
because who
week
does?
one we kind of sucked, but
We don't have to talk about week one. Week one was a different league. But yeah, we're going to go ahead off the dome, like we're called. We're going to NFL pick 'em, pick the slate for this weekend. Of course, the Thursday night game already happened, that Falcons-Panthers game, so we're not going to pick that one.
Ooh,
we already
also-
gave you our predictions for the Saints game.
before we do that, I'm going to get into that. I'm going to give you all an update.
Okay.
6 minutes left in the second quarter. Cincinnati's up 21-12 against East Carolina. They were going to be a part of my parlay, but we didn't get there fast enough, so I took them out.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Well, shout out to Cincinnati, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, no.
Luke Fickle.
They were like
Luke
minus.
Fickle.
They were
Love
like
Luke Fickle.
minus, like 104 maybe. Now they're minus 700.
Oh, should have thrown him in.
Yeah.
Better odds. But yeah, NFL pick 'em. Rapid fire off the dome. Seattle at Tampa.
Seattle.
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 you go.
Minnesota at Buffalo.
This-
No Josh Allen.
This is the one I'm looking forward to.
This might be a great game, but no Josh Allen.
But-
what are we thinking?
Naheem Hines will be making his debut in Buffalo.
Okay.
Could change things up completely.
Okay.
However, Kirk Cousins did not have his shirt on that plane. Minnesota's winning.
Buffalo.
I love Naeem Hines, but I love the Vikings more.
Oh my
The
god.
Vikings are going to go into
Oh
Buffalo and
my
win the game.
God.
You like that?
I love that. All right, Detroit at Chicago. You know I'm picking Detroit.
Chicago.
I'm also taking Chicago.
Of course you are. You stink. Denver at Tennessee.
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 Russ can't cook anymore.
Russ is cooking Vienna sausage.
Cooking Ritz crackers and ketchup.
Yeah. Jacksonville at Kansas City.
Kansas City.
Kansas City.
Kansas City. Cleveland at Miami.
Miami by 40.
I'm taking Miami, but it's a trap game.
Not by 40, but I'm also taking Miami. Two has looked great. Houston
Two
at
is
the
undefeated
Giants.
when in games that he's not been killed in.
Games that he's not been good in. Houston at the Giants. Giants are really hot,
Giants.
and
They're
the Texans are not.
I'm going Giants. I'm going Saquon is going to keep
Saquon is a
doing his
dog.
thing. this year.
Saquon is a dog.
I don't love the Giants, but Houston is the worst team in football. I'm going with the Giants.
I was
Houston,
going to say that. I'm going Houston.
yeah, Houston always finds a way to win a random game throughout the season. They did it last year to the Chargers. This year, it's going to be the Giants. I'm taking Houston.
I think they already won their random game.
Nope. Houston Texans to beat the New York Giants. How you doing? Keep it moving. Indy at Las Vegas. Indy has had huge turnover this past week. Frank Wright got fired. Jeff Saturday is now an NFL head coach.
I've actually got a lot to say about this game.
Okay.
So, Vegas struggled past 2 weeks. Got shut out
Yep.
by the Saints. Should have beat the Jaguars, but could not pull that win out. Indy, like you said, huge turnover. New head coach. I'd like to see them get on the winning track later in the season. I don't think they could do it right off the bat, though. So I'm going to go Vegas.
I like that.
Let me tell y'all something.
Tell me something.
I'm betting my college tuition, my
It's a
mortgage,
lot of money. You don't have a mortgage.
and every organ in my body on the Las Vegas Raiders because no one on the Indianapolis Colts has called a play on an NFL team.
That is very true. Not a single soul.
I'm laying the house on Las Vegas this week.
If you had a house, I'd believe you.
Why you gotta loud cat me like that?
But I think it could go one of two ways. Either you see the turnover in Indy and they absolutely stink, or they play for Jeff and they come out and win.
He's not dead.
But well, no, I'm just saying
For
they're
Jeff.
just hashtag for Jeff. Let's get that trending on Twitter. But I don't know. I don't think Indy can win this game. They just don't have.
No.
They don't have it right
Like
now.
I said, I'd love to see them turn around later in the season. Not make a playoff
Yeah.
push by any means, but get back.
Upset some teams.
Yeah. Make some teams miss the playoffs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I think we all have the Raiders. This one is probably going to be America's game of the week that they do every
I mean,
week
of
because
course,
it's
'cause it's-
America's team.
It's Dallas and Aaron
Dallas
Rodgers.
at Green Bay.
Papa Duck sauce.
R.I.P. Papa Duck Sauce. Gone but never forgotten. We love you, Jeff. But Dallas at Green Bay. Who we got?
Dallas.
I've also got Dallas.
Green Bay has lost 5 in a row. They're going to make it 6. Give me the Cowboys. Arizona Cardinals at the Los Angeles Rams.
I'm not watching this game.
This game might be the worst game all year. I mean,
Horrible.
it's two underperforming teams that can't find their footing.
Annoying to watch both of those.
Yeah,
teams. They're
absolutely.
so boring.
But who do you have winning?
A tie.
You have a tie.
Honestly, if there's
No,
two teams that are going to do
I
it.
think Arizona's offense has seriously stepped up since DeAndre Hopkins came back. Shown some real upside from Kyler Murray, even when he's cursing out Cliff Kingsbury from the field. I'm going to take Arizona.
I've got the Rams. I think the Rams have been doing it with smoke and mirrors, and they're going to fool everybody at the end of the season that they were a good team. So I have them winning.
Remember what you had the Rams going last year?
Yep.
And then they won the Super Bowl.
Yep.
All right. Soundman says 2-2 tie. I don't know about all that. That would be hilarious, though.
Safeties.
But,
Can I bet on that?
Probably not.
Yes.
But
Correct
Arizona
score.
Rams, this one's going to be a toss-up for me, but I'm going to take the Rams. They should have beat Tampa Bay last week, and they're going to beat Arizona this week. Sunday Night Football, it got flexed into this spot. Or no, that's going to be next week's game, the Los Angeles Chargers versus the Kansas City Chiefs.
Mm-hmm.
But Sunday Night Football, Chargers going into San Francisco. Who you got winning that game?
San Francisco.
I've also got San Francisco. Chargers have looked not great.
Chargers have been arguably the most inconsistent team in the NFL. You don't know what you're getting from them. Keenan Allen and Mike Williams both out on Sunday night. That means their number one receiver is
Jalen
Josh
Guyton.
Palmer. Jalen Guyton, I wish. But it's like Josh Palmer and Gerald Everett are kind of their weapons. Austin Eckler, of course, is there. I'm a Chargers guy. I picked them to win the Super Bowl, but I can't pick them to win this game. I'm going San Fran.
Yeah, I think San Fran's really trying to build a super team. It's kind of working for
Got
them.
CMC, man.
Their defense,
Debo.
their defense has been playing pretty good for the most part all season. They've kind of just been slacking on the offense, and I think with the addition of CMC, because Elijah Mitchell got hurt week 1, I think it fills a huge gap.
Yeah.
And they can execute their offense how they want now.
Yeah, and he's coming back too, so they're going to have a really good 1-2 punch in that receiving back with CMC and that goal line guy with Elijah Mitchell. So that should be fun to watch in San Fran. Last game, it's going to be the Monday Night Football game. Washington Commanders at Eagles. Lot. Are the Commanders actually going to win the game?
Yeah.
Or
I
are they
mean,
just going to cover the spread?
They're my road dog.
Yeah, but that's just to cover the spread. Do you
have-
think they're going to win?
Well, if they win, they cover the spread. So I have them winning.
All right, fair enough.
I have them beating the Eagles. The Eagles are due for a loss.
Eagles are going 9-0.
Yeah,
They're winning the
I
game.
have the Eagles winning yet another one.
All right, there it is, ladies and gentlemen. You heard it here first. Although we didn't agree on all of the games, we had fun picking them. We also had fun talking about some baseball. We talked about the Saints. We talked about LSU, and we had so much fun talking to Mr. Lottober, my man. Glad to have you in studio. my
Always
guy.
brings the energy.
Always brings the energy.
I'm glad to finish up the baseball season with you guys. I've been itching to talk about the World Series.
And hey, you talked about it. You gave us some great insight. I don't think we could have got that insight anywhere else. So thank you for that. Thanks for giving us some insight into where free agents may go in the MLB. Like I said, we're gonna have you back.
Oh,
We've got to talk about baseball this offseason, and you are the baseball king, Mr. Lottober. Quick few things before we head out of here.
Catch us at the Pelicans game.
Yeah, we're
tomorrow
gonna
night.
Byron and I are going to the Pelicans game tomorrow night, so we'll definitely give you an update on that on the next episode.
If y'all see us there, feel free to come take a
Yeah,
picture.
absolutely. I think we're going to be in section 102. So if you're going to be at the Pelicans game tomorrow night, let us know. We'll hit you up. We'll meet up with the fans, and we'll make sure to keep you updated on that Pelicans game. Speaking about the Pelicans, friends of the studio, Flow Tribe, are actually performing the halftime on the game on Tuesday. So if you're going to be at the game on Tuesday for the Pelicans, make sure to check out Flow Tribe. They're going to be performing at halftime. Friends of the studio, love to see them kind of getting that stage to be able to play on. And like we said, if you didn't catch it on Wednesday, Murica came in studio, had an interview / band practice with them. Make sure to catch them there. You can catch that on Radio House Studios, Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. And then just make sure to listen to New Rock Radio at all times. You can hear songs that you love, songs that you don't know and may be introduced to. So make sure to check out New Rock Radio. Make sure to check out New Country Radio, and make sure to check out Radio House Studios. This has been the Off the Dome Sports Podcast with Bryce,
Byron,
and Mr. Lottober. Thanks for coming in, buddy.
Thanks for having me, guys. I had a great time.
We love you. We appreciate you, and we appreciate everybody for watching in. See you next time.